The ModernJeeper Show, the show about Jeeps, Jeeping, and Jeepers.
Hey, Modern Jeepers, it's Matt with Metalcloak here. And of course, Mr. Modern Jeeper, you see on the other side of the screen, Corey Osborne. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good, Mattson. How are you?
I'm good. So, we're trying this again because we came out with this whole idea of doing video, and it's on me because I was going through it and I was kind of editing it out. I was like, it just didn't quite turn out right. And I was like, okay, so let's just do this again. So now we're actually going to try to do this whole recording. Now, either people will enjoy watching us or they won't. But the hardest part about doing it, and you said this yourself, was like we sound differently when we're talking to each other and we can see each other.
Right. Well, we talk with our hands so much, so it's that whole, hey, I was driving and I stopped, and yeah, so it is different when you can see somebody. How I think we leave words out sometimes. So this will be interesting. It'll be a good experiment.
Well, you got to sit on your hands.
Right.
So you got to sit on your hands. Okay, hands. Can't use our hands for talking. If you were to describe a peacock with your hands tucked away, how would you describe a peacock? That's a Yeah. You got nothing.
Nope.
So we've had some fun episodes lately.
We have. I mean, last week with Colin at Sand Hollow was that worked out really, really well. And the fact that we could sit in his RV and have a conversation again, it shows to go this technology that we have available to us is amazing.
Absolutely. And there's so many different options now for doing this. And we're using Live Webinar, which is the same one you used when we did the Jobber Summit. God, was that over? It was over a month ago. Was that August?
A while back.
Yeah, geez. I was supposed to do a follow-up webinar. I'll have to get that done.
Yeah.
So
that'll be next.
That'll be next. Yes, webinars. Monthly webinars, I think, was what they asked for. So monthly webinar. It's not easy to do that. It's not easy to put together a good event, right? Like it's easy to put together an event. It's hard to put together a good event. And
Well, I think it would be different. And you and I have had this conversation. If this is all we did, if this was our schedule and we could, the preparation looks different, the content looks different. It's difficult. It's just hard to throw it all together when you're juggling, when you know that 45 minutes from now you have a meeting or a phone call or a conference it's tough.
Right. Well, just imagine if we were trying to do this live. Now, a podcast I was on a couple of weeks ago, they do it Saturday or Monday nights at 7 p.m. live every time. And it's like, and I thought, we could do that. We could do a little YouTube live thing using live stream or whatever other software there is out there and do this whole live event. And people get on there and send comments and questions and we could have a lot of fun. But then it's like, oh, yeah, no matter where you are in the world, no matter where you're traveling, stop right now. We have to do a live event. Right.
Right.
And to do it in the evening like they do,
hard.
It's hard. Like we got to do it during the day. At least we get to do it during our work time.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, outside of the box, you know how limited your time is at home anyway. And so to take more time away from the time we're supposed to be with families and all that's a struggle.
That's right. So what are you wearing? You're wearing a Raceline hoodie?
Got my Raceline hoodie. It was cold here this morning. I got up, it was 41 degrees. Yeah. And I think I've gotten, got the old CMM Carolina Metal Masters logo going on.
Nice. Yeah. All friends. Well, the great thing about being Corey Osborne is your wardrobe is provided for you. Every time you cross country, you get a new set of shirts, and new hoodies, new clothes, right? Don't need to pack anything because every event you're going to get a new T-shirt.
Yeah, I should just go out with just one or two shirts and then just wing it.
Yeah, you should go out with no shirts.
No shirts.
And then see, it should be your challenge. Can Corey have a clean shirt at every stop?
Right.
Whether it's job shops. Well, you remember we had that podcast with On a Speed Shop, and
yes,
did you get your shirts?
I did, and I've done a poor job. I actually took a picture of everything that he sent, and it was quite the little swag bag. I need to thank them and throw something up on social media. and they're cool shirts.
Well, they are. I got the 2 shirts. I got the one with the Jeep and the big, the big angry dude sitting, which is like total childhood memories, right? Like,
yeah.
What are those Mad Magazine? What was it? The ones you got all the little stickers, and with.
Yeah, what's that little guy's name? The little Rat Rod.
Rat Rod dude. It was Rat. Maybe it was Rat. I don't know, but that was cool.
Yeah,
Do you Did you ever? What's his name? Jeff Denham, the ventriloquist. Did you ever see his rat rod?
No.
So he built a rat rod that actually the intake, it was like supercharged intake. The intake was Ahmed, the dead terrorist, right? Like you every time you would rev it, like Ahmed's mouth would open up, right?
Nice.
But it was designed that way. Like you literally sitting in it, the gear shift stuck out of the sunroof. And like you had to sit in it, and you were sitting out of the sunroof. So it was built in classic rat rod style.
Oh, that's awesome.
Check the video. Google Jeff Denham rat rod or something. I'm sure it'll pop up. But anyway, so you got that shirt. Yeah, it was cool. It's so cool. But I was wearing that the other day, and I just liked that old school style. It was fun. So
yeah, like you said, it brings back the childhood memories.
Right.
Yeah.
Childhood memories of free clothes and hand-me-downs. Wait.
What else? What else is more important than that?
Oh yeah. I feel bad about my sons because it's Josh gets to wear something and then he hands it down to Jack, and it's going to be that way for a long time.
For a long time, yeah.
Sorry, Jack.
I better share some things, some likes and dislikes and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And at some point, be like, here. See, the good thing about that is I can give him one new shirt. See, here you go, son. This one's just for you. And be happy, proud. I still enjoy the fact that I can give him a quarter, and it's the greatest thing that's happened in his day.
That's awesome.
At some point, it's going to be like,
if you sent me a quarter, I'd be pretty excited.
Really? Send you a quarter? I'll send you a quarter.
Nobody else sends me a quarter.
Yeah. Really? It'd be kind of funny. We should start like a quarter campaign. Like send somebody a quarter.
Well, there's a coin shortage, so
yeah, send a quarter.
Be a good idea.
Yeah, just a little piece of tape in there. Now the post office, it may not actually get to you.
I'm going to write that down. Coin shortage.
It may actually get to you. It may actually just end up in a dumpster someplace, depending on where you live in the country. But send somebody a quarter. I'm sorry, I'm getting political about the post office. I love the post office. I love you guys out there. The bad seed should not affect the bread, right?
Right.
I don't know if that's a proper analogy or not, but it worked for me.
What's weird is people don't know this, but during our regular podcast, we're not recording video, I write the whole time.
Oh, really? So that's how you get your notes stuff done. So you're actually keeping notes. Like
all of our prior podcasts are like I use a page for every. So
did it just say F Matt's in there?
I don't think so. But it's weird because now we're doing video, and if I'm writing, I'm like this, and then I look up and go, "Oh, hi."
Now you just look like somebody in a debate. Oh wait, again, getting political. Bad Mattson.
Hey, let's talk about Jeep stuff.
Oh, that's a good idea. I think we know a few Jeeps.
I think so. I just saw, and I don't know if this was public or not, but I know that it was released to the Metalcloak installers. You had put out a little bit of a feeler, a little bit of a soft, what do you want to call it?
Yeah.
The doors, the half doors.
Yes. What we're calling the open frame tube doors. That's our new thing. There's open frame. Why? Because it opens it up, right? The whole idea is it opens it up for you. Some people still like having a door and not having the doors off, but these are our aluminum tube doors. People got a preview of these, a year ago. At least it was Tillamook last year.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
I had them on my Jeep. And they were steel then. We now made them aluminum. So that was one of the things that delayed things. We decided to make them an aluminum. And in doing so, had to work on some structure so that they had a little more rigidity. But they have a steel latch mechanism, an incredibly cool handle. And the handle is actually in the tube. If you can imagine being in there and just having to reach over and squeeze the tube. You
Right.
squeeze the tube. You don't try to reach around and awkwardly grab a handle on the outside or
Yeah, there's no little hook you have to grab onto or a latch you have to open.
Right.
Literally, and the folks I think that we had, they were on the Gladiator at Pomona.
Yes, that's right. They were on the Gladiator.
And I remember how many people were coming up and they didn't understand how to open the door. And literally, you can just grab onto the tube, and yeah, people loved them there. So.
Yeah, grab tube, easy adjustment. And the cool thing is you have the option of getting mirrors with them. You don't have to use the JK or JL, reuse those mirrors, because that's a pain in the butt anyway.
Right.
We designed it to use TJ mirrors. So you can buy your own mirrors, but we have spacers and everything built into the mirrors that we provide. Pretty cheap, I think $89 or something like that for the set of mirrors. And now you can have a full set of mirrors on your doors. So they're available in fronts, available in rears, fronts and rears, JL, JT, JK. So it is a soft launch only because we're probably still 4 to 5 weeks before we're going to be shipping them, just because we're waiting for some of the components to come in. And then we'll get them out there. But we wanted to get them up on the site because for everybody who's listening to this on Thursday, it'll be all over. But today is Tuesday when we're recording this, and today is Prime Day. Today and tomorrow, Amazon Prime Day, right? So Metalcloak decided to do a Prime sale. Now, we followed that up with our Christopher Columbus. Again, I won't get political, but we did our Christopher Columbus sale, Columbus Day sale yesterday. Right? And so then all of a sudden, last night, everything switched over and became the Prime Day sale for today and tomorrow. So the 13th and 14th. So we have products on Amazon. We're piggybacking kind of on that whole thing, but the reality is Prime Day's kind of become a national sales day, right? Northridge has a sale going on. Quadratech has a sale going on. They all are having sales going on during that because what's happening? People around the world are going, hey, what can I buy? It's Prime Day. It's become a national sales day. So
isn't it interesting that it seems every day, the last couple of weeks, there's something every day. There's some kind of day. And I didn't realize that, usually we have Columbus Day, we have our regular holidays, but now we have days that I think, what did I read? Tomorrow is, I don't even remember, but it's some goofy, national think about your windows in your house day or something.
Well, look at the calendar. There probably is every single day of the year probably has something assigned to it. Because it's some group, some niche, some interest group has a need to get some recognition, and the lobbyist is paid to do that. And so the association that was developed, that was formed by that interest group to have a lobbyist, then gets like a recognition because they, as an association, were able to create National Rubik's Cube Day, right? Why not? Because there are people that are addicted to the Rubik's Cubes, right? We want to make sure that we have it all. This obviously is messed up. I have not done it yet. Maybe I will one day. I will do it. If this recording thing works out, I'll make a pledge that I'll actually do that during one of our episodes. Because only showing if I'm paying attention, it takes me about 5 minutes. But when I'm not paying attention, then I totally forget. But yeah, it's like there is something. There's Grandma's Day and grandmother's Grandma's days, and then there's the thumbtack day. I don't know. There's a day for everything.
See, we need to have a Jeep day.
A Jeep day? Why isn't there a Jeep day? Is there not a Jeep day?
I'm sure there probably is.
Well, we should. What's the best day for Jeep? What would you consider to be like the day that Jeep was introduced? Is that like, or what day do they do
like
the
a Jeep Wave day? Or I don't know.
What day is the Bantam Heritage Festival?
That was just recently. I think that was weekend ago, 2 weekends ago.
But what is it? What would normally? Because obviously it was rescheduled this year. But what was it normally, like in June usually, or when was that?
Yeah.
Or we could be very cool and say July 4th is National Jeep Day.
Yeah, there you go. Independence Day.
Independence Day is National Jeep Day.
I like that.
Yeah. See,
that makes
what are you celebrating? We're not celebrating July 4th. We're celebrating National Jeep Day.
National Independence of
National Wave at Fellow Jeeper Day. You heard it here first, folks. We will hire the lobbyists to make that happen.
So what's going on out in California?
Well, besides Prime Day, we have a lot less smoke right now. So
yeah, we had some wind, so that's helped.
But it kind of sucks because we can't camp. You just can't have a campfire. you can't even have an open flame campfire. So every year this time, myself, Eric Ennis, and Scott Becker do our backpacking trip. One of these days you'll join us. But we're not even going to do it because where are we going to go? Like we can't go. So if I can't cook my food and have an open flame stove, and the joy of backpacking is getting someplace where you can actually have a fire, right? And we have a campfire. We have that little campfire candle, soy candle in a can. It's like yay big, and it weighs about 5 pounds, but it's worth it if you're going someplace in Desolation Valley where you can't have a fire because of the area. So you can have a little campfire, and it's pretty awesome. But still, like, you can't do that because you can't have any flames. Right. And I understand why, but
that was a big deal at Trail Hero. We spent about 4 days out there last week, and a lot of the people that come to Trail Hero, of course, are from California, and people were so frustrated and just wanted to go outside and go jeeping, go into a national park, and it hadn't occurred to me that all that's closed in California completely because of the fires.
Right.
It was people are dying and itching to get out for sure. So
I got to say, it's kind of weird with this video because you're looking up at your camera. I'm looking down. So we're kind of we're at different parallels. Like I'm leaning back. But see, I'm just using the laptop camera. You probably, I can't see you. Where'd you go?
Yeah, it is definitely different. I mean, I guess I can sit.
We're going to have to just take our computers into our Jeeps, and our next episode we'll sit in the Jeeps.
Right.
That'll be cool. Of course, I've got a Gladiator. What?
Your camera's at the top of your laptop screen?
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, mine's at the top of my iMac, which is way up there.
Yeah, I've got I'm going to do a proper setup for not to get anybody sick or dizzy, but if you've seen, I've got my 4 screens over there, and I'm going to do a proper setup there that includes a light ring.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So it just gives proper, so we don't have like this. You guys see all the reflection. My head is actually hot because of the reflection of the LED lights above.
I almost need sunglasses
on my forehead. Look at that. Like I could put a spiderweb shade over me.
Yeah, right. So I actually have a spiderweb shade that covers 2 skylights.
Really?
In my roof, and I use a spiderweb shade in the summertime. Otherwise, it just beats me to death.
Oh, that's amazing. See, that's Chris is missing out. There's a lot of other markets than Jeeps.
So the red box DVD machines that you can get a DVD from.
Yeah.
They have a little a little shade that goes over their screen, and I'm not sure, but at one point he talked about those. And I don't know if he's making those or not. He may be.
Oh wow, there you go.
Yeah,
that's a heck of a contract. Yeah, the ones that don't stay up, and so it's a pain in the ass to use. You put it up there, you try to flap it up and over, and it keeps falling down. You got to hold it up there, and the kids running around, and yeah.
Well, we're getting ready, so we've been home for. My brother got married last weekend, so we had to make a quick trip of Trail Hero. And shout out to my brother and congratulations to him and his new wife. My Jeep went to my local shop the end of last week to get some paint codes read off of it because I'm going to do some color matching on some new body armor panels that we're changing on the LJ. Metalcloak makes the nice aluminum panels. This time I decided I wanted to body color match them. So gentleman that does some painting for them, went and got those paint codes. So the Jeep's at the shop. The truck I just picked up this morning from having fuel filter and oil change done. I'll go get the Jeep this afternoon, load it on the trailer, and we're headed to Kansas Rocks for, they've actually canceled all of their events this year because of the COVID stuff. And
wow.
They're putting together one big event out at Kansas Rocks, Fort Scott, Kansas, kind of the eastern side of Kansas. But that's a fun park, and we have some some folks that spend a lot of time in that park, some jobbers that have helped with that park. Mike in Topeka at 4x4 Land, I believe is part of that Jeep club, as well as Jay at Stomper. So those guys should be out there. 3-day event this coming weekend. If you're in the Kansas area, I'm not sure if they sold tickets or whatnot. It's a camp out. I think there's going to be a lot of people though, because they've canceled all their other events and are focusing on just this one. So it should be fun.
Well, that's awesome. So overall, though, Trail Hero was a great event, huh? For the short time you got to be there?
Yeah, Trail Hero is, it's always been a good event. And it's a wheeling event. It's not so much a vendor show. This year, they kind of changed that up a little bit. Past at Trail Hero, the vendors were set up in the parking lot, which was kind of, it didn't work very well. And then we all packed up and we went down and we set up in the city park down in Hurricane.
Oh, wow. Hurricane.
And that worked pretty well, except the vendors, I mean, if you had set up a booth, do you really want to tear it all down and then go back down there and set up a booth?
Right.
This year, they formalized the vendor area up in the parking lot. So it worked out actually very well for a lot of the vendors who could do a static booth. And, I mean, this year it would have probably worked out pretty well with the CTI trailer. We'll just have to keep that in mind for next year as to how that whole thing is working. But again, it's so hard for me to, any event that takes place this year, we can't really use it as, hey, that was really a successful event. It's going to be even better next year. Now, it probably will be, but this year has so many weird things going on. How do you know?
Right. So I'm moving things around. I apologize to our viewers, but is that the fan a lot less now?
Yeah, I don't hear it.
You hear it less? Okay. I actually raised it up. I got a bunch of books, but this is the geek in me coming out, the finance geek. Cap tables and founders equity splits and a little series of books. But now they're being used very significantly as a stack for my laptop. What do you got? Colorado Trails. See, Corey is like Corey's focused. Corey is focused on being the best at off-roading. I get distracted.
That's okay. That's
what happens that's what happens when you spend your day staring at 4 computer screens.
Right.
So if you are out there and you're wondering, like, what do I want to do for a career? Like, do I want to be Mattson or do I want to be Corey? Okay, choose Corey.
Careful.
He has a lot more fun.
Careful what you wish for. I think our viewers and our followers know how much time I spend on the road. So you see my family behind me?
Yes.
Both sides. This is my family.
All right.
Here's my family, right?
So now you're just being sad. Like
no sadness.
No. I mean, you get to do what you do and travel, and if you enjoy doing that, you enjoy driving, and guys, my job is easy because I sit in a chair all day. Corey's job, he is out doing it. I mean, it's a physical, but then again, I'm the one fighting weight problems every day, and Corey isn't. Which, by the way, I've been doing a push-ups every day. I got this little app called pushupbot, and been doing it on the Slack group, and doing about 100 push-ups a day. It reminds you, like, get down and do push-ups. So I go down and do 25 at a time. So for every couple of hours during this period, and it kind of gets competitive because there's other people I know that are on there, and and they do all kinds of stuff. Some people do push-ups and sit-ups and other things, and I'll start my day with 25 push-ups and 20 crunch or squats, and then throughout the day I'll get down on my floor of my office and do another 25.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's like, and my man boobs are starting to firm up.
Well, we made fun of the my little Nanny watch here.
Yes.
I tell you, the whole, hey, you got to move thing, or you're not moving as much as you did yesterday, while it's kind of annoying, it's a good thing. Like, especially, when I'm not running the CTI trailer, my job isn't a whole lot of physical. So the CTI trailer is good, but when I'm not doing that, I'm eating and I'm sitting and I'm driving. And
you're eating real healthy when you drive 12 hours a day, right?
Yes.
Yeah, super healthy. Yeah.
Let's see here.
But now it's got to be a 20-minute drive just to go to McDonald's.
Well, so I had to go. I had to go pick up the truck from the dealership today. So it was on the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wait. How do you do that? How do you go pick up the truck when there's nobody around to give you a drive?
Yeah, loaner car.
Oh, from the dealership.
Yeah.
Nice. Was it a truck? No. What is it?
Sad little car.
Little compact?
Yeah.
Do you tell them it's not really good loaner? Like, can I use this on my property? Can I use this in the back 40?
I think it had been used very hard in the past. Yes.
So I think we should talk some more Jeeps.
Yes, that's a good idea.
At least something for our fans to talk Jeeps. So, yes, because we did that. The other thing we did, you guys can hear, like, my computer is giving me all kinds of notifications now. And we also did because we had the Prime Day video, which I thought was a pretty cool commercial. Yeah, we're pretty, it's pretty awesome because we got a great video team here. And so I told them I wanted a commercial for Prime Day that kind of was reminiscent of Amazon's commercials. And I think they hit it out of the park. I mean, it was so cool.
And I've shared that to a lot of our channels so that if folks are curious about it, you can see it on Metalcloak's Facebook page. You can see it on my my fan page. It's out there, and it's a great commercial. It really is. It's
fun, and so the reason we pushed through the tube doors, we also have new combo kits on Adventure Rack Systems, ARS's website. New combo kits that include the various baskets because we have 4 different basket options for that. The JL rack, everybody, the JL rack is coming soon. It's like literally material has been ordered, material is being gathered. And it was so that they can actually start doing the manufacturing process. So we are like so close. It's funny because when you have to burp or something like that on camera, it's a little different than just doing a little right from the microphone. So we're close on that. So we're excited. And there's a lot of new stuff coming down the pike. I saw some awesome new components for the RAM system coming up that are just going to be cool. And it's so cool. And hiring new engineers. So we have them focusing on some products that have been like some ideas that have been stayed for a little while. So we're getting some, it's exciting because we're getting some motion around here. But there's some cool stuff popping up out there. And some new companies popping up, or companies that are really starting to do expansion. I know Kevin and Brittany are friends at LightBright. I think they finally, maybe the last product they still have on there that's Metalcloak is the rockers. But I think they're
still running the skid plates.
I think they just changed the skid plates out. They put an aluminum skid plate system. I forget the name of the company, but they have some aluminum bumpers from that company, and or at least aluminum rear bumper and some other things. With the skid plates were the last bastion, and those things were beat. I mean, they were beat. So they definitely got a lot of use out of the Metalcloak stuff for a long time. But it was time to do some upgrades, and plus he's got his Ultra 4 car now, and he's been apparently blowing that out, doing really good. I heard that at the last race out there, they did pretty good. So I was impressed.
They did. And just to finish that Moab race was, for a lot of people, a success. I got to talk to them briefly at Trail Hero, went and looked at the car. There are some wheels on that car that are no longer around. And that's another thing.
Drive it like you stole it?
Yeah. We forget that driving at speeds on aired down tires, those impacts go straight into the wheels.
Well, that was a problem when I raced. And I've told this story before. I was recommended by Falcon to do about 14 psi. And that seemed to work fine. But the problem is that you end up, if you come down hard on a boulder, which I did all the time, you can destroy the wheels. So what do? Do you save, you use a tire effectively, or do you destroy a wheel, right?
Right. And if you're not aired down, then the tire's got so much air pressure that impact comes straight into the suspension and brackets, and then you start breaking stuff there. So,
well, I started breaking me.
Yeah, right.
Like I went up to 20 psi because somebody recommended, hey, what are you doing down there? Go 20. And man, the tires would just bounce off everything, which works if you have the proper suspension, you have the proper steering boxes and everything. I was getting force feedback into my shoulder. Like I ripped my shoulder off just sitting there holding it like, out because it just wanted to go its own direction. Yeah, and that's probably the reason why there's a great shot of Jordan Pellegrino coming around, and behind him is Matson on 3 wheels. Like literally, I'm in the air. I think one wheel might be touching the top of a boulder, and the rest, I'm just flying. Because why? Because I went boom, boom, boom.
Oh yeah,
I'm supposed to be going down, not up.
Right. Well, and I don't know. Maybe this would be a good time. We can talk a little bit about how Trail Hero Sand Hollow has its name because of all the sand.
Is that where they get their name?
Yeah, it's crazy stuff.
That's funny.
There's a lot of sand, and I forget every time I go out there how much sand is there. And apparently, there's a lot of drivers who, sand is different. Sand is it's not rocks, and it's not packed dirt, and all of the trail riding the majority of folks do. There isn't a lot of sand. There's that opportunity just doesn't come about, and it's amazing to see how many people get stuck out there because they're not used to driving in the sand.
Absolutely, and that is a combination of airing down properly, right? Because you should air down out there. Yep. Even if you have your stock wheels, you still want to go down because it's greater surface area, right? Helps it going through the sand.
Greater surface area. And I actually was reading an article recently, and the guy talked about driving in the sand and how airing down increases the width of your pad, your tire on the sand. And he said actually that's partially correct, but really what's happening is you're lengthening the track.
It's not width, it's length.
Yeah.
I always thought girth was better than length, but it's
I am not going to go there.
Width, so it's length. Length. Okay.
Size matters. Anyway, so it's interesting to me.
That's interesting. I've never thought of that.
Yeah.
I just thought it was general footprint.
A longer track would absolutely be helpful. And I guess, it's hand in hand, right? A little bit of width and a little bit of length are going to be better than some really narrow patch in the sand. Sand is just, even aired down, that makes a huge difference. But we all think, well, I'll just put it in 4 high because I need that wheel speed. That's not necessarily the case. 4 low tends to work a little bit better because that torque is applied a little better, lower RPMs. People think that they can power through it. And with a bunch of horsepower, that might be true. But really, the minute you start spinning a tire, that's that hole. Stop digging holes, because the holes you dig, you're never going to get out of.
So if anybody wants a lesson on how to drive in sand, it's I believe it's Cars 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Cars 3. Where it's Lightning McQueen driving on the sand, the little sports car next to her. She gets buried every time she falls. He explains it. He teaches her how to drive. So you want to learn a lesson on how to drive on sand, or at least on the beach, got to watch Cars 3.
Yeah, watch Cars 3. It's just, and even for me, I go out there and I think, well, I've done this before. It's all easy, but you have to keep a lot of things in your mind. Momentum is your friend. Don't stop. This article I was reading, the guy said, don't use your brakes when you come to a stop. And I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. He's like, put it in neutral and coast to a stop. And I thought, well, why is that? Well, when you're using your brakes, you're actually pushing sand with the front end, and it's going to be harder for you to start again. So by using neutral and just allowing it to naturally stop, you don't have the hill of sand per se in front of your tires.
Interesting.
Yeah, kind of an interesting.
What about gear choice? And like I find, for instance, in the case of, because you generally want to be in 4-wheel drive. It's fun to try it in 2-wheel drive. If you have the right type of setup, going 2-wheel drive, being ready, but having 4-wheel drive accessible to you. But like on the JK, overdrive off, like that's important.
Yes.
4 high is for fun, but you got to have that overdrive off. If you have it in 4 high with that overdrive on, you start having problems overheating, and I've had that shut down where actually my 08 would go into limp mode.
Yeah, you actually want to, even in an automatic, you want to manually shift that. You want to keep it in 1 or 2, and as your RPMs come up, I mean, it's kind of funny. You think the guys are out there just beating on their junk and being funny, bouncing it off the rev limiter, but literally, it's kind of how you have to drive in sand. You don't want things to bog down. You don't want to get it out of the power band.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Like when we were out at Tillamook and at Sand Lake, going up those hills, because you can say, "Oh, we're going to go up that hill," but if you get stuck halfway up a hill, it ain't fun going back down.
No, backing up. In fact, so this is an interesting thing that happened to me, and it's never happened to me before. Jesse's in the Jeep with me. We are out in the top of the pretty big sand hills in the very back of Sand Hollow, coming off of the trail. It was bright sun. I was wearing my polarized sunglasses, and we got to the top of one of we were traversing across the ridge, right? So it's, I don't know, it's probably 100 yards ledge off one side.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it's super, super steep. Everything to me went flat, kind of like snow blindness. It's never happened to me before. I don't know if it was just the way the sun was hitting the sand or the glare, but everything went flat, and I ended up kind of catching my driver's tire on that edge, and we went over the slope. I could feel us going super sideways, and then, having to turn downhill very, very fast, not touch the brakes. And then, I'm going to come into a spot where the hill ends straight into the ground if I'm going too fast. So then to try to hit the brakes and hit it soft. But it worried me enough that literally I was kind of shaky. Ooh. And I told Jesse, and we were on the radios, and I'm like, okay, so everything just went flat. I couldn't tell that we were even on a hill. So maybe don't put yourself in those situations where you're on something super, super steep and you could fall off the earth.
Right.
Unless you can see very well.
Well, and handle it right, because that's what you did. I mean, it's
and all of that stuff is you're thinking the whole time, going, uh-oh, and it could have been bad because we could have just rolled down the hill without steering into the downhill and then not touching the brakes and having to kind of stay on the gas until we got to the bottom, then hit the brakes to stop us. And things happen really, really fast when you're in precarious situations.
Yeah, you just gave me a flashback to Death Valley. Thanks.
Yeah, and just like Death Valley and just like Moab and places where we've been, it's all fun, and we were having a blast, and we were, busting through the sand hills, and then literally I couldn't see where the road was. I lost all the depth perception. Everything just went this color of sand.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. And then, of course, I'm super gun shy, and then all the way back, I was very, very careful. But there's some video there. We took a lot of video of us playing in the sand, doing some donuts and being crazy. And we were with a Gladiator, and we were with Colin in a side-by-side. It's interesting, the perspectives between the different vehicles, how well a Gladiator can do and how well the LJ does sometimes. Yeah, we'll have that story coming up probably in the next month. We've got some other MJ destination stories in the works. Jesse's been doing a lot of video stuff, so look forward to that coming out as well.
That's awesome. Well, there is. I'm just looking at the ModernJeeper.com site. If you don't go to the ModernJeeper.com site, every couple of days, you're going to miss out on stuff, because even I sometimes don't make it there. And it's like, there's some great stuff on there. The new articles, one from October 12th about imitation and, what's that? The new Suzuki? Like, that's great. So we got new rigs, overlanding options, great article. And my computer making lots of noise. And I got to tell you, if you guys have not read the XT tire review that Corey did for the Milestar Patagonia XTs, you need to read that. It's one of the best reviews we've done. Yes, Milestar is a great supporter of Modern Jeeper, but Corey did a great job of being very objective and showing the benefits and everything of the XT. So please check that out.
Well, we're seeing. I mean, we all. We're bombarded with social media, and a lot of our followers or listeners, they don't spend a lot of time just sitting on Facebook anymore. We're all busy, and if you just go to modernjeeper.com, you can find all the stuff that we typically would put on Facebook. We're seeing a lot of the feeds change, and you may not see the recent stories, so it's just easier to check out modernjeeper.com directly and not rely on, the story was on, because what we do is we put those on Facebook so that that they're there, but you can bypass that and just go there directly.
Absolutely, and that'll be interesting. Yeah, I'm doing consulting for young entrepreneurs, and pretty much all of them, I'm telling them, is that don't even bother building your brand on Facebook anymore. Like, build your brand on Instagram, build your brand on LinkedIn, build your brand on other places, but Facebook is kind of still a place to hang out. There's a lot of stuff and family photos and things, but even Metalcloak, we just don't post as much on Facebook as we used to. There's so many other avenues, and it's just not becoming. It's not the. It's just not the platform it used to be. And
right, and it is being filled with a lot of not only political stuff, but the advertisements and things like that, and we get it. And I still do a lot of stuff on Facebook. Don't get me wrong. It is becoming the place where we kind of pop in, we pop out, we don't hang out there anymore. And it's not a bad thing. It's just a time, and maybe it'll change and it'll evolve into something else. I have my buddy that does a lot of off-road recovery, M&H Towing here in town. He started using TikTok, and I kind of laughed, and I'm like,
really?
What are you doing with that? And he showed me a couple of the things that they put on TikTok, and it's good exposure. It's different exposure. And I guess that's the thing. Maybe if everybody was using Facebook, we're not going to see everybody's feed. We all know that it's pretty geared towards what they want us to see. I don't know. Just random.
We go down that political path, Ken.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What was the name of that movie?
Social Dilemma.
The Social Dilemma.
Social Dilemma. Yeah, check it out if you haven't seen it.
That is our true tech tip of the week. Watch that movie.
Watch the Social Dilemma.
Watch the Social Dilemma.
We do have a word.
Yes. Keyword
for the week.
Keyword of the week.
Keyword of the week. This week we're going to go with Kansas rocks.
Kansas? You keep doing 2 words.
I know, it's kind of fun.
So this is what, number?
This is number 4.
Oh my gosh, we're getting close.
Yep, this is number 4.
Number 4. Okay. Kansas rocks. This is number 4. And that means you have to have all the other 3. And then next week is number 5.
That's right.
And then the following week, we choose the winner. And then the week after that, we invite them on the show and we tell them we actually won. So that means we have 3 weeks to figure out what to give them.
Yeah, we've and for those that have followed us on Instagram, and so Mattson and the guys out at Metalcloak created this awesome video intro for our podcast, which is why we're now recording some video to kind of go along with that video intro.
I'm excited to actually do that production tonight.
Yeah, that'll be interesting, and we'll have to talk about how challenging and all of that.
Yeah. Well, that just means we don't get to make mistakes on the podcast anymore. We have to if whatever I say, I can't make myself sound smarter. I can't like fumble over my words.
Yeah, because splicing in video land is like it's too apparent.
Yeah, some people do it for style. I see that sometimes, like a lot of videos where they do this cuts. They'll do a cut, and it'll be a 2-second, and then a cut. I'm like,
we can just cut. We just fade out to like a commercial.
And then there we go. So I can fill this with Metalcloak commercials.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I'm sure for our followers, it's kind of interesting. We had I put Collins on Instagram with the new video feed, and it did really well. I mean, people were really excited about it on Instagram. But you have to actually go listen to the podcast.
Right. 1, you have to listen to the podcast. 2, you have to share your feedback on the podcast. Right.
That's right.
Not only to us, but to everybody else. Right. 3, you have to listen to the podcast. So 1 and 3 are very important. Listen to the podcast and listen to the podcast. And then share it and tell your friends about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, seeing it on social media and clicking like and love and all of that does great on the picture. But then go listen to the podcast. Right.
Because, if you like the podcast and you want the podcast to continue, because this isn't just because, Corey and I love each other. We're going to hang out in these heart-filled sessions. It's because we're trying to build something here, and we need you guys. If you love it and you like it and you want us to do more of this, you got to share it. You got to tell it. So on the video, I'm going to do the whole thing everybody does. Smash that like button on the video. Smash that like button. Boom, 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 right there ahead of you.
Need a little button.
I know. The easy button from Staples.
Easy button, yeah.
Smash the like button. Share your comments. Give us a 5-star review. I mean, do it all and let the world know that you like listening to Mattson and Corey, because I think we're a pretty good podcast, and I've listened to a few others out there, and God bless everybody who does that especially in our niche market. But a few of them are kind of like boring. We could sound like so. We're here today, like an NPR station. We're here today, Corey. How was your day, my friend?
My day was great.
That is fantastic. You look to be very happy. Are you having a good time?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Yes. Can you tell us how? I mean, you want us to be that way? We can be. Yeah. And I could script it out. I could be like, we're just going to read scripts and share. So today's show is brought to you by, but that's not what we want. We're impromptu. We love hanging out. We love doing it. And that's what we're going to do. So please take the time to share it with the world. You know how to get all of us, Mattson@Metalcloak.com, Corey@Metalcloak.com, Facebook, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But smash that like button so we do more of these videos, because honestly, the reason we're doing a lot more videos is our Modern Jeeper YouTube page is kind of
sad.
Sad. Thank you. And so we're going to build it up. But smash that like button and share it all. Well, my friend, is there anything else you want to share?
I think we're good. Come see us out in Kansas if you're around. I'll have the CTI trailer out there. And then we're headed to Myrtle Beach, which they're looking at 2,000 registered Jeeps for that event.
Wow.
So if you're on the East Coast and you haven't been on the CTI trailer, this is probably the last time you're going to see us out there this year.
Yes.
It's time. It's time. Get outside.
Get out there. Yes. Yeah. And if you're in California, so sad, too bad. No events. We don't get to have events.
Yeah, no events for you.
No events. No events for you.
No events for you.
No events for you. Yes.
All right, guys.
All right. See ya. Ciao. See you on the rocks.